now.
Okay.
And we'll see what it says here. So, what time is it or what day is it over in the Faroe Islands, Rooney? I just want to know.
Oh, it's still the 27th.
It is still the 7th. Okay.
27th,
yeah. I think it's, around 10, half 11?
Oh.
Something like that.
6 hours ahead of us.
Yeah.
6 hours ahead. Now,
GMT.
if the whiskey drinker joins us from New Zealand, he's actually Saturday.
Pretty early or not?
He's a little earlier than we are. Yep, that is true. So,
For us, it's about 4:25 in the afternoon.
Yeah, you look pretty comfortable on that porch.
Not bad at all, sir.
No. And Dolph, you're hiding in the basement?
I am in the basement. My whiskey room, favorite room in the house.
I'd like to say I'm in the basement, but as you can see, I'm not. I have too much light shining through. I'm going to pour. I am going to get a glass because I can't pour anything. And since Rooney is doing Cavalin,
okay,
I will pour a Cavalin. Soloist as well, a Vino Barrique.
Mine is also Vino Barrique.
I knew it.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to pour
this.
this.
I was talking about.
Oh, and it's sherry cask or is the brandy cask?
Sherry.
Sherry. Yeah.
Now, the color is beautiful. It's dark, dark, dark. But it's when you talk about a sherry bomb, it's like I'm drinking the sherry directly out of it. It's 58.6%. And I was really looking forward to this. When I bought it, I kept it for a while. When I finally opened it, I wasn't impressed. And I've been going back to it probably for about 2 years now, trying to see if it oxidizes well, but no. So this is an example that when people come to the home, I pull out of a sherry bomb that maybe they won't like, because I love my sherried whiskeys. But
and you don't like that one?
No.
What's your ABV on yours?
58.6, I think I said. Yeah, 58.6. But it's beautiful. Beautiful everything. Nice presentation. Hard to open.
When they first started, they were only in a cardboard tube, eh?
Oh,
yeah.
I don't recognize that at all. Okay.
Yeah, and then they got fancier.
Yeah.
Right? And then they got really expensive.
Yeah.
So who do you think is darker? Yours or mine? And I'm in the sunlight.
You're in the sunlight. Well, I could try to shine some light on this. Here. I'm going to get my phone out, shine light on it, and you'll barely see anything. So
this is 57.8. This is from 2012. I'm in direct light coming out of my dome here.
Mine it's dark, dark, dark. So even with the light shining right there, you can't see very much.
Here, I'll get it in the neck. So there. Oh, yeah. Don't be whipping your wiener out on my show.
We're all happy. Look at that. Okay.
What year is yours from, Rooney?
2017.
Yeah. Wow. You guys got good sunlight where you are right now.
Wow. Oh.
Okay, so Whiskey International Day, or International Whiskey Day, is a time for everybody to kind of raise a glass. It was initiated from
Netherlands, I thought.
It might have been during the Netherlands, right? But on this day, whiskey lovers annually raise a whiskey dram wherever in the world he or she may be, to honor the many unsung heroes of the past and present who have been crafting the drinks, the king of drinks. And I have to say that I kind of agree with that. Wine might want to fight about it, but does anybody think how many different countries make some form of whiskey?
I think
I couldn't hazard a guess. It's amazing how many are putting out some very interesting whiskey expressions. Couldn't have guessed. Could you guys would put a number on that? I'd have no idea.
Let's go 150.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go. When Daniel and I were talking about this, we were trying to find whiskeys from all parts of the world, and we were having a hard time thinking of whiskeys from South America and from Africa. But beyond that, we hit, well, Antarctica, maybe not, or maybe they do, who knows. But just about every other country, European countries throughout. In the Middle East, it's happening now more and more. Israel with their first ones. Has anyone had that one yet? Honey and...
no.
Anyone hit with the name of that?
Rooney's kind of a world traveler.
Not that
What's
much. Mostly Europe.
Mostly Europe, but have you ever had anything a little odd and different for an international whiskey?
Tasmanian whiskey. I've had that. French Britannia whiskey.
Belgium,
Danish and
Germany.
Danish and Swedish whiskey. I've had German whiskey. Swiss, Austrian whiskey. Spanish. Icelandic whiskey. Faroese whiskey.
Jason Whiskey Wise just joined us. He says, happy evening, fellas. Wish you a happy International Whiskey Day. And I have sent you a link, Jason, so you can join us anytime you want, even if it's only for a few minutes, and have a dram. So right now, Rooney and I are drinking a Soloist. What are you drinking? What's your name again? John, the whiskey neighbor.
Well, I feel like the odd person out. I didn't get any Cavalan. You guys were going on at some really excellently deep and dark sherry. But I earlier, because of International Whiskey, I hadn't reviewed an Indian single malt on the channel. So I've got a bottle of Rampier. I think back in 2017, Whiskey Advocate put it up in their top 20 list, and that's when I grabbed it. But I didn't open it till today. So that's what I'm drinking. Cheers, Jason Whiskey Wise and Vanessa. I don't know how to get chatting on here, but thanks for you guys for joining.
So you have a review of that you just put up on your channel, The Whiskey Neighbor.
Well, I cracked the bottle open. I can't really call it a review, but I certainly enjoyed opening it.
Well, there you go. So you did a reveal, and you'll review it more thoroughly later.
Perfect.
Yeah.
As you like to study it, I see.
You bet. You bet.
Vanessa Kitty's on. Vanessa, what are you drinking today, if anything, or is it too early in your neighborhood?
Not too early.
Never too early. Dolph, what are you sniffing right now?
All right. You and I were talking about French whiskey before, and I said there's been one that I like. So we reviewed 2 or 3 other ones, or we talked about 2 or 3 other ones. So Guillaume, and I'll have to read it. So l'esprit du malt de la montagne des Reims, France. So it's a single malt, and it's beautiful, but there's no information, and I didn't look a thing up. I just wanted to come on and enjoy this whiskey. I've got 2 others to talk about later when we come on that might know a little bit more about. But if you're looking for a French whiskey, I like this one. And we don't know too many that we actually have, that we like all that much yet. Daniel.
Rooney, could you translate what he said in French into Faroese? I love your facial expression. That's the best.
Nope.
So, Rooney, talking about international whiskey, you were telling me that there is a distillery being built on the Faroe Islands at this point, right? And they haven't made anything yet, or they're in the middle of making some gin or vodka?
They are in the middle of making gin at the moment, and there are actually two distilleries. So the one that is making only gin, and the other one is releasing their whiskey probably later this year. It will be 4 years old now, the whiskey that they have on barrels.
It's ready.
And they have done some vodka and some gin and some schnapps. So they have been it's called Einar's Distillery. They have been up and running for at least 4 years now. And then there's this small distillery that is only making some gin. They're still in the early stages, so they're building a distillery at a beautiful site, but it will take a few years. And while they're at the location, and as I mentioned, so.
Awesome. So there's something more international for us. Hello, Whiskey Neighbor. You are welcome to join us. I sent you an Instagram note with the link. Hey, hello, Loch Ness is in here. Fellow Canadian in Ontario.
Oh, welcome.
Jason,
and thank you, Jason, as well, for telling us it was the milk and honey from Israel.
Milk and honey, yes.
And for revealing my ignorance, because I thought he was just talking about having some milk and honey in Israel. So now I know it's a distillery.
He says, anything you need to know, give him a shout. Jason is very, very, very knowledgeable about whiskey. He works in the whiskey industry besides being a fan of whiskey. He is kind of a whiskey nerd. He has his own channel, Jason Whiskey Wise, him and his little stuffed monkey.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And he does a lot of research. When he talks about his stuff, he's pretty aware of what's going on, right? So.
And I saw Alan, Whiskey Friend, join there. Did you say you sent him a link?
I sent him a link. Yeah, I should see. I don't think I have him on Gmail here, so hopefully he can join us. I don't know if he sent it under Alan. That's not the right Alan. Nope. I don't know. I forget what it is. The Whiskey Friend, maybe it's under no.
Mr. Banana's right. Actually, Jason, are you still putting out, like I used to watch all your stuff and then maybe I accidentally dropped your channel. Are you still putting out stuff? You guys know? Is Jason Whiskey Wise still putting out content on his channel?
No, he's been a little preoccupied with work and COVID.
Oh, wow.
But he lives in London, but I've seen recently that London has now started to tell people you got to stay home. They were not doing it quite as quickly, right? So,
right. Hopefully not as bad as New York.
Yeah, well, hopefully they don't get as bad as New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't been able to do the work. He's a busy man, but I keep seeing him post lots of old vintage whiskeys on his Instagram.
Nice.
So he's getting around anyway. So what do you think of that Rampur Indian whiskey?
Well, it's very fruity. Like it's a luscious fruit, right? I don't know what that would be for you guys. Pineapple or I don't know, cut stone fruits, that kind of stuff. For me anyway. Yeah. Have you had this Rampur before?
I have. I was pleasantly surprised when I gave it or had a taste of it. And I think that it runs pretty darn close to Paul John. Matter of fact, I think it's in a better price point and as good, if not better, than Paul John.
Really?
Yeah.
It's good. And in the palate, it's still early thoughts. It's like my second dram, but it's got a lot of wood spicing that comes out, which I really like. So whatever that is, you're trying to figure out if that's cinnamons or if that's cocoa or whatever. But you know that wood, that essential wood character. So it's pretty young, but the nose is full of fruit and the palate is actually remarkably spicy. Kind of reminds me of Nika in the Barrel. You guys that's a pretty common whiskey. You guys try that one out? Kind of reminds me of that. Lots of barrel spices in here.
No, nice.
How about rose syrup? Jason asked, do you get rose syrup on the nose of the Rampur?
floral. Rose syrup isn't a common thing for me to relate to, right?
It says it's a little like Indian sweets with hints of sweet spice.
Very sweet. Yeah, very sweet on the nose. And the spicing, to me, doesn't come out as much in the nose, but if you're drinking a bit and you've got it in the palate, it's for sure there. Yeah. I like it. I would definitely recommend trying it.
Yeah, well, I would too. Now, Edmonton Scotch Club is in. Gurjeet, a guru in Edmonton, uses Rampur in a few of his cocktails. Sure, I bet you he does. I sent you a link as well, Mr.
Travis.
I'm pretty sure it's Travis. Yeah, he's the only one that does that stuff. So I might try a different whiskey. Oh, yeah? And being that I'm in Canada and it is international, I think I'm going to pour myself a Canadian whiskey.
I've got one ready as well.
Yeah, me too. Right here. Why am I in the main screen?
I am going to pour a 23-year-old JP Weisers.
Oh.
Rooney, you ever tried any Canadian whiskey? I think we had talked about this in the beginning.
Yeah, we have. We were talking about that you were going to introduce me to some of the Canadian single malts. I haven't been able to secure any of those yet.
You've been waiting for me, and I haven't done my job. Okay, I'll tell you what.
Because we have been talking about the various shipping laws. So if you are going to ship them to me, you have to ship some samples to Denmark.
Okay.
My office in Denmark. So
I will ship this bottle to you in Denmark. Can you handle that?
Really great. Oh, it's one of those same that Whiskey Neighbor has. And he
yes. Well, what year is Whiskey Neighbors? This is the second release. Same. Okay.
Here.
I'm gonna send you some. I promise. That's what we do here. Ooh, kids are in bed watching TV. Yeah, we got excuses, and you have a 23 Wiser open, and you're gonna come and join us live. Jason, how much of that lot 40 that you got have you drank yet? Because I was waiting to see a very impressive review of it by you, and I'm still waiting.
And that cast strength is fantastic too.
Rooney, we lost. How did we lose here? Oh, I took you off. I'm fiddling around with buttons here by accident. What is that, Rooney?
So here we have it's a Danish whiskey from a distillery called Fairlocken, and it is the first European non-British ales that has been tapped by the Scottish Malt Whisky Society. It's cask number 1 from distillery 141.
141.1.
6-year-old. Come again?
It's 141.1.
141.1. I have an unopened bottle of this, but some of the whiskey tastings of SNWS here in the Faroe Islands we had, and I saved them as a sample because I've had it so many times before that I just wanted to save it. But I'm going to open it now. And it's a really, really good whiskey. It is only 6 years old, but it has like character from like a really, really old whiskey. So when I tasted it first time, I tasted it blind, and I was guessing it was like a 22-year-old whiskey. So it's a really, really special. I'm just going to fetch a glass. So it's a really, really nice one.
And you said it was from Denmark?
It's from Denmark, yes. I
have.
So it's called Fairy Locken. It's very sounds very Scottish, but it is a Danish.
Okay. This is as close as we can get, right? This is Dutch Millstone. And I've met the guy from Millstone, and it is excellent stuff.
All the 100 rye. Yes, sir. Yeah.
But you'll swear this one and the exclusive one was 100% oranges.
Yeah. Not just theirs, the one from Keg and Cork and the one from Kensington. I think it was the same.
Well, they're the same bottle. They shared a cask. Yeah.
They're very orangey.
Very orangey. I had plenty of people tell me, I swear to God, you're putting oranges in that.
Daniel, that's my favorite rye that you had there in your hand. My number 2 rye is the Lot 40 cask strength, the first year they put it out. And my third favorite rye is the one I'll be talking about in a bit when I get to the Two Brewers rye.
You gave me a nice
of all time.
You gave me a nice sample of that Two Brewers, and I'm unfortunately drank it all. I shared it.
I gave you a good sample of that at the tasting, but
you did, yes. Well, that you were told.
He said, "Give me 2-3 ounces."
You were told by the Two Brewers.
It was good.
Give this back a sample.
Lost the connection. Yeah.
No, but you're here. We can still hear you, Rooney. Can you hear me? We may have lost Rooney, but he'll come back.
It's a good picture, though, to stick on. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Nice frame there. Yeah. I wish I had a different rye to put in the show, but I'm drinking the same as you, this Lot 4011. I think, like the Room, the 12-year was fantastic. I still have an unopened bottle of that. And I had, Dolph, you poured me a sample of number 17 as well, but I haven't brought that bottle home. So I don't know. I don't know if it's my third favorite rye, but it's pretty good.
It's so unique. Really does. It tastes different from any other rye I've ever had, and that's why the 100 Millstone was so good as well. It was terribly unique. I'd never had a rye like that before. And us being from Alberta, we're in rye country. We have access to so many different ryes, and we sell them to the States. We flood their market with our ryes because we produce so many, but we don't talk about ours so much. But we have some pretty good ryes. So I think now that we've talked, I'll put the Guillaume down, and we'll get the Two Brewers rye out.
Yeah. As you're cracking that open, I definitely like unique expressions of rye. Like these Lot 40 cask strengths are just quality. They're fantastic stuff. I really appreciate them. The Millstone I've tried to sample, and I've tried a sample of what you're about to say. But just as I'm bridging to your open bottle, I also had a Sonoma cask strength rye, which was something I can't recommend. It was grassy as hell, but it was so unique that I'm really glad it's in the lineup. You know what I mean? Like, it's just such a different way to express rye. Like, whoa, the grain in here and the grass notes were off the chart.
And when we do tastings, because all of us, we have friends we do tastings with, or we do tastings to like groups of 20 people or more, or smaller groups. It's just nice to have something that's terribly unique, like really, really unique. It sets people off, and it divides a room. Half will love it, half will hate it. I really like that element to a really unique whiskey.
That's my favorite thing about bottles of Glenrothes. Welcome back, Rooney. You got a little. You're the farthest away of all of us. It's okay if your Wi-Fi gets a little lost traveling over the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I when I hear you, it's like hearing robots talking. So
that and what we can do, we can slow down, and it gives the VoIP time to catch up. But then we sound like a different kind of robot.
So
you're still. What's this Denmark whiskey you're drinking? What is it like right now? You poured some?
The one I'm drinking, it's very. It's very sweet and spicy. This one.
Yeah.
So I would like a sherry mango chutney, I would say.
Oh, that's a nice description.
Spicy sherry mango chutney.
What was the name they gave it from the SMWS tasting panel?
It was dram.
I see. We have another person just popped in. Doesn't look like he's where he belongs, is what I noticed here. He looks like he might be in the house instead of in the whiskey room. How you doing there, whiskey friend?
I'm all right, mate. How are you doing?
Good.
Happy Whiskey Day.
Yes. What is it you're drinking?
I'm drinking a Blair Athol at the minute. Blair Athol 12.
Oh, I thought it would have been a Longmorn 16.
No, I didn't want to spoil you, mate.
I
thought that'd be rubbing it in.
So talking about International Whiskey Day, whiskey friend Alan is actually from Scotland, but you live in England. Is that correct?
That's correct, my friend, yeah.
Did you get kicked out of Scotland?
No, I just left one day and never went back.
Oh, well,
I do go back. I go back quite a bit, to be fair, but
just for whiskey auctions.
Sorry?
Just for whiskey auctions.
No, I've got family there, so I visit quite a bit. I've got friends and family still up there, so I head back quite a bit. Whiskey's a lot to do with it, but yeah, it's gives me a more excuse to go back.
There you go. We lost.
Are you guys doing okay?
I hope Rooney comes back here. We keep losing him. It's very difficult in the Faroe Islands. I'm sure the weather fluctuates. The satellite, something must go on.
No, I think StreamYard's saying there's issues, I think. There is counts, I think. I think there's not many people using it. How you doing, John?
Excellent. Very well. We're all staying home and
you're looking chilled. You're looking chilled there, mate.
It looks like he hasn't had a haircut since the COVID.
That's true. Staying inside, my friend.
Yeah, Whiskey Wise says every day is a whiskey day, especially when you work where Jason does.
Yeah.
This 23-year-old, when I first opened it up, it was not as good. Now so much more floral.
Wow.
Something else.
That's getting a lot of good reviews. I don't know, Alan, if that's made it over your way. Dolph, you probably had the cask strength 23, have you?
No, I haven't. I've had a few samples sent. I'm not sure if I've had that one though. I've got two or three that's been sent to me. Yeah, Luna Aaron sent me a nice big sample, so it was. But I don't think it was a 23-year-old one. But I
haven't had it yet. Like the last couple of years, I've been drinking this lot 40 cask strength. It's the 11-year-old. I like the 12-year-old. This year, I didn't like the release as much, but the 23-year-old cask strength for Canadian whiskey is getting a lot of love. So I'm hoping to get a bottle of that.
No, I preferred that 11-year-old to the 12-year-old.
You like the 11-year-old better?
Yeah.
I preferred the 11 to the 12.
Well,
nice.
The original, yep.
Good rye. And Dolph, you're into that release 17 of Two Brewers, right?
That's the one. So made with a sour mash, which they don't usually do very often. Well, here in Canada, they start with the sour mash. And they use brewer's malt for it, sour mash, and it still has kind of a distinctive Two Brewers nose to it. I don't know if you get the same thing I do, but there's bananas, marshmallow bananas is what I always get on just about every Two Brewers product, and I like it. I do like it. Not a knock whatsoever. I could drink this all day, and I might continue when this is done, but I could sit with this for a very long time. I like my ryes, but this is a very impressive one.
I think you need to get over to these guys and try theirs because I was thoroughly impressed by this, and this is made right here locally.
I can't see it.
Northern Ice.
Northern Hills.
Oh, Hanson.
Northern Ice.
Northern Ice. It's only 3 years old, but it's single cask.
That's nice.
Each one they put out is single cask. So this is barrel number 4. And they only have 3 bottles left.
And that's really good stuff because I saw that they were putting it out. But I've spent over $100 on some 3-year-old whiskey, and I love supporting local, but it's tough to pull the trigger on some of those young bottles.
You can go there and go to their bar and try it.
Yeah, okay.
But the guy slipped me a little bit of Barrel 5, and I'm telling you, there's something I really enjoyed about it. So I'm waiting for Barrel 5 to come out to compare it. Yeah. So.
And have you gotten the first couple as well there, Daniel? Did you do all of them all the way across?
No, I did not have. I tried to. The first barrel was sold out. People were lined up, and they're not too far from where I work, but the job was insane. Now, hopefully, we get to do a little bit with them and calm down, and I'll have some time. Maybe bring them on you, as Jason Whiskey Wise just said. So it is good stuff. They're very new. Oh, look at that! Look at that! We got a little leprechaun just came on.
There we go.
How you doing, Trav?
Nice.
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Can you hear Blazed and the Monster Machines through my speakers, or can the kids still watch?
The kids can do whatever they want. Who cares? It's International Whiskey Day.
I didn't know I was getting an invite when I poured this glass. I was just going to watch, and then I saw the link. So thank you.
Why not?
Yep.
I say all the time I have a face for radio and a voice for books. So thanks for including me.
Alan, where'd you run off to? Did the wife pull you back to the bed? I've heard of them.
The laughs in the back.
Those English women, I heard about them.
No, you just put me in the mood for some of that young stuff as well, so I thought I'd go and get some.
Ah.
Yeah.
Nevis 4-year-old.
Oh, nice.
It's the Ralphie one.
I can't remember what I poured. Oh, I know what I got. This is my 23-year-old. So that's what you're drinking right now, Travis, 23-year-old?
The Weiser's 23, yeah. Alan's got a 4-year-old Ben Nevis. So Ben Nevis makes good young whiskey. I'm curious how you like that one, Alan.
It's fantastic, mate.
I think I might have a young Ben Nevis here. Let's compare it to Alan. So, Travis, tell us who you work for.
Well, I'm a quasi part-time rep for Rare Drams Whiskeys here in Alberta.
And Rare Drams puts out stuff like this.
Yeah, so we import Morrison and Mackay into Alberta.
That's a good one.
Do you want to tell them about what I'm holding in my hand?
Yeah, so I'm the president of the Edmonton Scotch Club here in town. So that was our first ever single cask purchase, which is an 8-year-old Highland Park, which we can't call Highland Park. And Dan got 1 or 2 bottles, I'm sure. I think.
I would never hog whiskey. I am not a hogger.
So that cask sample was sent to me to bring to customers to try and basically sell a cask, and I smelled it and immediately fell in love with it. So I started sending some messages, and we bought the whole cask. It was 330 bottles. I think it came to about, all in with shipping and labeling and everything, just under $30,000. So
yeah,
but delicious stuff.
Now you want to tell them about this one, since we're doing young Ben Nevises.
Well, yeah, if you could get a sample of that to Alan, so I'd be curious to see, because this is so Rare Drams bought this whole cask, and this was a 4-year-old Ben Nevis. So how many bottles? 290. And when my boss told me he was buying a 4-year-old cask of whiskey and I had to sell it all, I was a little bit nervous. And then he gave me a sample of it, and I was just absolutely blown away. It's heavily peated Ben Nevis. Sherry pungent, I think. You want to say hi?
Yeah, this is pungent as well.
It's a pungent as well?
Pungent as well, yeah. This is 155 bottles.
Oh, wow. And is it peated as well, Alan?
61% ABV.
Oh, I think ours is 61 something, isn't it?
61.4.
People?
Yeah.
Then why are they talking so quiet?
It's in here. So, Dan, what's the Ben Nevis at?
What is it? What's the ABV?
Yeah, just curious.
Oh, this 290 bottles is 61.4.
Oh, so same as Alan's.
Oh, wow. Maybe there's some trickery going on. That Allen guy has been known to change labels.
I can turn it here.
Yeah, but why do they don't have those things on to hear you?
I don't
So
know.
that he can hear us, you little trumpeter. Let me come over there. I'll take your dog for a walk.
John, I've seen you on lots of this stuff, but we've never actually met here in town, right?
We haven't yet. No, it was nice to meet you this way at least. I've seen you on other platforms, Instagram, Twitter, that kind of thing.
It's just crazy we haven't bumped into each other at some event or something.
Yeah. Well, that's my fault. I hardly get out. I need to connect more. The last one I went to, Two Brewers, had an event. Dolph was pouring, and that was a really great event. And told me I got to get out more. So hopefully we'll see you at some future event.
Well, any event that Yukon Dave is planning is a good event. He's a great guy.
Yeah, the whole atmosphere was friendly, welcoming. Just walking around the room, it felt like we were all friends. It was a great time. And then I even grabbed Bob from one of the Two Brewers. What's his last
Bob
name?
Baxter.
Anyways.
Yep.
Yeah, Baxter.
Yeah, you did a great interview with him.
Hey, can you do an interview? He was like, of course. And it was totally spur of the moment, just on a cell phone camera. It was great. It was a good event.
He is one of the nicer. He makes a special trip to Edmonton every year just to come present at our charity tasting. He flies out just for that event, just because he's so happy to help out with a charity event. He's a really, really great man. I'll support those guys as long as they keep making whiskey.
Rare
John,
dram.
when you get out more, just take some whiskey away and everybody will be your friend.
That's right. That's right.
Is that
Yeah,
how
I
you?
find that too. If you show up to somewhere and you bring a few bottles,
some whiskey
everybody's
with you.
glad you're there. Yeah.
That's hilarious. So, just a reminder, International Whiskey Day was an initiative to honor their friend and legendary whiskey writer, the late Michael Jackson.
Cheers to Michael Jackson.
If you ever want to read a good book, his would be one of the first recommendations to get.
The beer one's very good as well, because he has a beer one that came out. I think that was his first love. So pick up the beer book if you can, and that's probably about 25 years old. 25 years.
That's where I remember him from. And then
Beer.
he had a brief show, The Beer Hunter.
Yes.
And I saw a couple of those episodes way back in the day. Yeah, that's like 80s maybe.
80s.
Yeah, that's good.
Right on. So you got a comment about Carnmore from Jason Whiskey Wise, who lives in London and works in the whiskey industry. Very, very hard worker. Some great stuff, not as common as it used to be for him.
It's because they're all coming to Canada. We're buying them all up. It's all right.
We're not leaving any for you guys. Can hog
Keep
all
them
that.
coming.
You can get all that overpriced vintage stuff at the auctions.
With Jason, I don't think it would have been a split cask. The cask that we got was one of three. The one cask we nabbed, and the other two went to Japan, where Ben Nevis is actually quite popular because it's owned by Nika, right? So there was 3 casks, and we got one of the 3.
This says cask number 12, Trevor.
Cask number 12, yeah. So whatever that means, that could have just been that could have been numbered at Ben Nevis, or it could have been numbered at Morris and Mackay. I'm not sure where that number came from.
Yep. There's lots of things that go on like that, but that's an excellent bottle. I'm going to do one more thing here. Not one more thing. I'm going to pull up something, since whiskey is one of the most popular drinks going on in the world. And I'm going to pull up one by Adelphi.
Nice.
Called the Kincardine. It's a celebration of Scotch and Indian single malt. Box it comes in.
Which one's that, Daniel? Do you know if it was 1, 2, 3?
This is the Kincardine. They don't actually tell me what number it is.
Okay. So I thought it was
Bruce, 9th Earl of Ilgan and 13th Earl of Kincardine, was born in blah, 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 and spent a lifetime in public service as a Liberal politician and Viceroy of India.
all right.
So we had that.
Is that one open?
I'll let you know in a second here.
All right. We're still looking. Get
It looks delicious. Yeah, I think it's open.
That looks like you've had a little bit of it.
I have. Has anybody else had any Adelphi?
Yep. And the best blend on the market.
The best blend.
Well, it's $33 and it's fantastic every time.
Oh, I have a bottle of that. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. It's good. I think it could be better. I've had better blends.
Well, no, I mean the best low price blend, the low shelf blend. It's fantastic.
Oh yeah,
it's the $33 you buy it for.
That Glenborodale. Have you guys had the Adelphi Glenborodale blend?
No,
I haven't.
So they had a Glenborodale batch 1. It was labeled as an 8-year-old, but the only reason why is because they had a crazy 8-year-old cask. I forget. I think it was Glenrothes that they threw in there to completely change the complexity of the dram. But most of the stuff was over 20 years old. But they called it Glenborodale 8 years old. But it was one of the best blends. But the Glenborodale, I think they're up to batch 6 now, maybe. Consistently a nice blend, $70, $80, somewhere in that range in Alberta. I don't have one open right now, but really tasty. Adelphi makes they got a distillery now too, is it?
Yeah. Ardent Merchant.
Ardent Merchant
Distillery.
They consistently bottle some of the best single casks on the market.
They do, yeah. They've got some phenomenal stuff there. They got connections there. I mean, they got a very funny and cool cask from George S. Grant, and he stamped on the end of the cask for a proper dram for when they put their own spirit in it. He's quite a tongue-in-cheek joker. That guy, he's hilarious.
Yeah, you got to interview him, right, Dan?
What's that?
You interviewed him, right?
Yeah, I interviewed him there a while back. Quite nice.
That's cool.
Met him. Second time I've met him. The first time I got to interview him on the show, I think it went quite well, and I got him to sign some of my nice exclusive bottles. So,
he's a really nice man.
Yeah, he's hilarious. Now, I'll tell you one thing. During the tasting, I asked him one question, and I kind of did it deliberately to get a reaction out of him, is when are you going to put out a peated whiskey? The look on his face was like, I was about to get kicked out of the freaking tasting. And never. Why the hell would I do that? He's never going to be peating a whiskey, right?
If you ask him at Glengoyne, you'll get the same look.
Yes. Yeah. Jason, you are right. I also got to interview Connell Mackenzie from Adelphi as well. Yep. His first time, I think he had just started with the company. So you betcha. Lots of times we get to talk to people, and that's one of the lovely things. We can see the whiskey neighbor right now. He's tweeting and texting his girlfriends, or he's going through his Tinder account. I think he might be single. He's just lying to us about having a wife.
No, I'm just trying to get the chat up.
I'm chatting in the channel if I can. That's what I'm doing, yeah.
Oh, you can't be doing that from your phone. It's slower than death. You got to do it from a keyboard. Didn't you ever take typing in school? Do you have a typing teacher where you work at? Because you might want to call her in for some private lessons.
Sounds good, Dan.
Hey, Dolph, were you at the tasting with Don Livermore, the Scotch Club tasting?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so you got to see Don Livermore. If you, I mean, I know Dan, I'm sure has had a chance to see him, but just while we're drinking this Wiser's, Don Livermore, if you're gonna go get a chance to see a guy present live and you're a whiskey nerd, yeah, his presentation was so high level that if you were just a novice,
yeah,
it would have been way too much. But for people like us, I just sat there in awe, and he went into such crazy depth about the science of his whiskey making and his blending, and he'll tell you exactly where all the flavors in each of his whiskeys came from. And he's like, I know this is going to happen because like the science behind it was incredible. It was if you ever get a chance to see him speak, for sure do it.
He was at the Banff Whiskey Experience last year, so I saw him 2 weeks. Well, in a 2 week span, I saw him twice in two different talks that he was giving. So he's well rounded in what he does as well.
Yeah,
well, Greg, right, brother, you've got many speeches available for depending on the audience, right?
Well, and he knew that the audience at this event was obviously a bunch of nerds. So
you want to meet a guy that's a bigger nerd there probably is Mr. Van Zoelen
Yeah, that's why.
from Millstone. That guy there, they had bottles open for the tasting. And I heard him go to the lady that's a rep from Calgary, and he says, "Don't we have any fresher bottles than these?" And when he got into talking about how the rye, what they had to do to their machines to make it be able to turn through the rye, because they were doing malted rye, and it becomes very glutinous, and they had to turn the torque up to get the machine to turn around. They couldn't go through it fast. But then he got into words I can't pronounce. He is a total. You can tell he was born and raised in a distillery.
Were you there when he yelled at me at the tasting that I was hosting for him?
No, but I wish I was.
We did a tasting with him over at Keg and Cork with the club, and so I introduced him and thanked him for coming, gave him like a mug and a pin and stuff. And the very first whiskey, after a couple sips, I added a few drops of water.
Oh, no.
And he stopped the whole thing and he said, "You don't put water in my whiskey." And kind of joking but kind of serious. And he said, "I make my whiskey the way it's meant to be drank." And everyone just laughed because I'm hosting the thing. And he kind of called me out in a fun way, but at the same time, I think he was 100% serious.
I think he actually might have done that with us too at the Keg and Cork. I can't remember now. But
they are fantastic. And they are one of the few distilleries that are used. I think they're using almost exclusively bodega sherry casks too, are they not?
Oh, okay, yeah, I think you might be right. Yeah,
maybe not exclusively, but at least like a high percentage of actual bodega, and that's why the whiskey's maybe a little bit more expensive for some of the stuff. But I think they are using a high percentage of bodega sherry casks as opposed to the seasoned casks.
Well, that's back to the whole reason why we can have an International Whiskey Day. Now, I mean, part of International Whiskey Day, and if anybody feels like it, is to donate money. You don't have to do it. I don't do any of this stuff through my channel. You can donate to whoever you like, which one of the places that, and very easily for me to donate to is who Drams for Frams, which is through the Edmonton Whiskey Club, correct there, Travis? You have
we have actually putting together a whiskey raffle right now for the food bank, just because they're going to be in pretty high demand here, I would say, in the next couple months. So we have, if you go to dramsforfams.com and go on the Edmonton Scotch Club chapter, you can donate right to the food bank through there, and it actually gets tracked through Drams for Fams.
Yeah.
But the food bank, the reason why we love the food bank is you give them $1, they make 3 meals with $1. So right now, our goal is to raise $8,000 with the whiskey basket that we're doing right now. It should be coming out this weekend, but that would make 24,000 meals with $8,000. So it's just incredible how much they can make $1 spread.
Yeah.
So that's why we've always worked with them. Is just, if you're going to donate money that you worked hard to raise, and you want it to see, you want money to go to a good cause, but you also want to see spent wisely. And I feel like the food bank does just an incredible job of that.
I have to agree with you. That's why I have no problem donating to the food bank. There are lots where I'm sometimes hesitant about, just because you're not 100% sure where their money's going. But food bank, you can see where it's going and the benefit of it for people.
Yeah, and that's not downgrading any other charities, and not saying there's tons of amazing charities. It's for us that most of the members of our club have young kids, and I think it's 30 or 40% of the food bank's users are kids under 18, and that was kind of one of those stats that for us, kids should be able to eat. So anyways.
And a lot of their kids go to inner city schools, and teachers giving the food out to students in the morning lunch. A lot of these kids, the only meals they have all day are the meals they get at school. And often it's from the food bank. So
yeah, well, you would see that in the education system. Yeah.
Rooney's back. For the new guys, if you haven't met Rooney Nielsen is from the Faroe Islands.
How you doing, Rooney?
Rooney, so he lives right above Scotland and below Iceland. Do you ever throw rocks over to Scotland? Sometimes you're like, send me more scotch.
What is your handle, Rooney? Like, are you Instagram, Twitter? YouTube.
It's Cruiser, and I'll write it here. So
Yeah, I'd probably already follow you for all I know.
yeah, probably.
I'll send you his name.
Thank you, sir.
Can I change my name on this stuff here, or?
Yeah, I think you can.
Yeah.
You got it as a Rooney right now. You can put your Instagram name on there, and people can see that. Yeah.
I don't think any of the names are showing up. Oh, they are too.
Yes,
I like.
Yeah, if you want to change your name to Instagram, and then people will know how to follow you, because sometimes Rooney's got some phenomenal videos from the Faroe Islands, and I like the Faroe Islands, man. I tell you, and I've never been there, but they should have filmed the movie The Hobbit there. Rooney could have been one of the wizards. He's like 6'8". Like, Travis, how tall are you?
Oh, I'm 5'9 3/4. Done.
5'9 3/4. Holy lift! That's with high heels.
My wife's 5'9", so I always just got to be just a touch
Just
higher.
a wee bit more.
If Rooney stood up really fast right now, it would be like the old Flintstones cartoon. He put his head right through that roof.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'6".
You're not 6'6".
6'6" when I lie down.
Whoa, when you lie down.
I'm 6'8".
6'8".
Yeah,
that is fun. We got a member in our club. I think he's around the same height, and yeah, I mean, you can't really go anywhere without people coming and probably taking pictures with you. You know, asking you what you do. I mean, everywhere he goes, people go up and want to get pictures with him and get him to pick him up. And
who's that?
His name's Tim. He's in one of our Calgary members. He's I think he's 6'8" actually.
So Dusty just came in, and D8 Silva, and he said we're a bunch of jabroni wannabes. Now, I call somebody a jabroni on his show.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
hey, this guy.
No, not the mash and drum. It was actually whiskey in the six, because people think I'm doing it because it's an Italian word, but it's not actually. Jabroni was started by the Iron Sheik from wrestling, right? Way back in the day. Does anybody remember the Iron Sheik? Right?
A long time ago. Like Stampede wrestling time.
But
I'm not as old as you, Daniel.
Yeah, but the Iron Sheik, American wrestling, you know that wrestling? You're younger than I am. I know you're. Just dye your hair gray. Anyway, jabroni is actually a word for jobber. Jabroni, jobber. And the Iron Sheik would tell the guys in the back, and this story is actually from The Rock. You can look it up on YouTube. Jabroni was what the nickname they gave to the jobber. So a jobber is a guy they hired just to fight, just fill in, and he'd always lose to somebody else and whatnot, right? He was a jobber.
A big guy.
Well, yeah, big guy, little guy, it didn't matter. They were all trying to get in and become professional wrestlers.
Okay.
But a jabroni was just his way. The Iron Sheik was actually, I think he was from Iran. So he had kind of an accent, the way he would say jobber, jabroni. Hey, just don't be a jabroni when you go out there, guys. Do your job, eh? He had it was just interesting. You just look it up and you'll see it. But Rob had the Rock doll, right? Somebody's trying to tell us we need to drink whiskey again. So one of the nationalities that we drink from many times, but don't talk about as much, is Irish whiskey.
Oh.
Do you drink anything Irish there, John? Whiskey neighbor?
You bet. You know what? I didn't get the memo to bring my whole collection with me. I brought a couple of bottles to the deck, that's all.
You know what? Dolph and I are coming over to your house for first of all, we're going to paint that deck. Second of all, we are going to set up a desk. We're going to just tell your wife, hey, listen, John from now on has his own area for whiskey.
Right.
And
I'm sure it'll go over really well.
Don't let the
But
door.
I see cask strength in the bottom. I love that 12. And then Sexton, I just cracked that open a few months ago. What do you think about that, Dolph?
Well, I bought it because my first cousin was Sexton. That's his last name. So I bought it for that reason. And then I kind of enjoyed it. You know what? It takes a little bit in the glass to settle down. It's a young whiskey. It's an on-age statement, but I'm still guessing 3-4 years old. I think it's a Bushmills. It's markedly like a Bushmills black, but a little bit. It's more mature than a Bushmills black, and it's got a little bit more of an oily texture to it, which I really like. So I'm enjoying it.
I agree. I found it pretty young, but I thought the sherry in it was quite expressive. And with that softer Irish spirit, it comes out pretty clear for me, anyway. So
yeah, I agree.
Did we lose somebody? Nope. Rooney, how was that cask strength?
I love it. I think it's my second bottle of this batch number 1 from 2017, and I really love it. It's a really great drinking whiskey. It's really tasty.
I didn't realize it had batches on there.
Yeah.
They have. This one is 58.2. So I do not know the number. How many bottles they release in each batch, but probably like 12 or 18,000 bottles each time.
Mine is 57.4, so that explains that there would be a different.
Yeah.
Interesting.
58.2. Yeah.
That
so I really like these, and I have bought actually a lot of these because it's a great drinking whiskey. And I love the sweet mellow taste of Irish whiskey, triple distilled and all that. So
even at cask strength, you still get it as a mellow whiskey, eh?
It is a mellow whiskey, yes. It is. Yeah.
Demon Hunter here says that I've been told that the Saxton is a Bushmills. Anybody heard that? I have not.
Well, who's the master distiller? It's a lady, and I know that she worked for Bushmills. And then she was able to age the whiskey in their rack houses while she's starting out. That much I know. There's a serious Bushmills connection there, but I don't know. I really don't know if they distilled it there or what.
Okay, interesting. I didn't know that either.
Daniel, which one was yours?
57.4. So yours is different too. It's 57.2.
And mine says batch 1, 2016.
Nice. So you're older than I am.
Well, we already knew that.
Just in looks primarily, but anyway.
Okay. And attitude? No.
You're immature. What? Travis, did you go get something else to drink? You got to unmute your mic. I think you've unmuted.
We were talking about international whiskeys, and you guys are on to Ireland. So I decided to bring another whiskey from the same people that import Millstone.
Ah, yes. The same distributors that bring it in, yeah.
Yeah, so this is the Cornog from France, and this is the I'm not going to say it wrong, Coteau de Leon cask.
Oh, yeah, we got to get a translator for that.
Coteau de Leon.
Say it in Faroese.
And while you guys are on Irish whiskeys, there's a new Irish distillery being brought into Canada very soon. Hinch Distillery. Have you guys heard of it?
Nope.
Hinch?
Nope.
Hinch Distillery. They got a big project going. Craftwork Spirits, same people that bring in Cornog and Millstone are bringing it in. They were supposed to have the international marketing director here for a launch right away here, but obviously that's not happening. But right now they're using Cooley's Spirit for their whiskey, but they're going to be distilling their own stuff and releasing it soon. So Hinch Distillery, it's called.
Hinch.
Hinch. I think it's Northern Ireland, I believe.
Okay, we'll check that out.
Yeah,
is that coming out yet, or is it already out? I feel like I maybe have seen it. Hinch.
The launch in Canada was supposed to be the same week as Drams for Femme, so April 18th. Michael Morris, I believe his name, was supposed to be here for a couple tastings. So I don't think it's here yet. I could be wrong, but I think it's April 18th was supposed to be the launch.
I'll keep a lookout for that. The master blender was the one I was thinking of. Her name is Alex Thomas, just for the sexton, back with Dolph's sexton pour. That's the master blender that's getting a fair amount of coverage behind the sexton. And she was with Bushmills, and now she's on her own.
Okay, very interesting. Lots of information out there.
Have you guys seen this stuff before?
The Whistler.
Yes.
I did see it, yeah. But I couldn't get it.
This is Bone Distillery, but this is just sourced, right? Because I think they just started maybe a couple of years ago. So I don't know. Does anyone know where this is sourced from? Cooley, maybe?
I would say it's probably Cooley, yeah.
I'd love Cooley.
Anyways, if you haven't tried this, even though this is sourced, this bottle is worth it. I tried their regular 7, their 10-year-old, and then this 7-year-old cask, and I definitely recommend it. It's got a lot more depth to it than some Irish, possibly because it's 59%. But this is definitely worth a try if you can find it. And I know Wine and Beyond, we're sampling it at a couple of locations. So if you're in the Edmonton area, you can get a dram of it and see if you like it.
We'll have to try it out. Yeah.
Cooley would work with that because Cooley is it's not distilled, and you can tell with Cooley it's a richer, more oilier than the other distilleries. They're double distilled instead of triple distilled. They do malt, they do grain, they do everything at Cooley. It's one of the best distilleries. It's fantastic.
Oh, look at that. All over.
Hey, Rooney, do you have the same one?
Yes, exactly the same one, yeah.
And do you like it? What's
I
that
bought
one?
it in Iceland.
Yeah. Compared to the Redbreast?
You can of course note the difference that the Redbreast is a 12-year-old, but it has a lot of depth to it for a 7-year-old whiskey, and I would also suspect that it is Cooley. And you see, it's one of those bottles that just has a hole in it. Huh?
Well attacked. Good job, sir.
I have a bottle of Cooley as well, but I would not know where to find it at this moment. It is a SMWS Cooley, by the way.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Wow. Yep. Yeah. Well, this one.
They do a 5-year-old one here in the UK.
What was that there, John or Alan?
They do a 5-year-old one here in the UK.
Of
Whistler.
Whistler. Okay.
5-year-old double oaked.
Very good.
I've only heard one review of that 5-year-old. It wasn't as strong. I don't know. Have you tried it, Alan?
No, I've just checked out now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this one's
here from
natural color, not unchill filtered. So it's kind of I think it's a good dram.
Has anybody seen this?
Really good.
Nope.
No.
That is put out by Middleton. It is by Middleton, really. It's made in Middleton, Cork County, or whatever they call it. It is a single pot still Irish. It is 46%. It is matured in bourbon barrels and finished in virgin Hungarian oak.
Nice.
Very nice whiskey. Yeah, Ireland's doing a lot of good things. Ireland's doing great things.
Just a quick one, guys, on that Whistler.
New Zealand. Is
Just a
anybody
quick one.
whiskey from New Zealand?
Nope.
I asked a question. You're all looking at me stunned.
Couldn't hear you, buddy.
Anybody try a whiskey from New Zealand?
Nope.
Nope.
This one here, a friend brought back for me. It's a 23-year-old. And the story is that somebody bought this closed distillery and they were walking around and they walked into a room that was full of barrels. And there's this.
Best rooms. The best rooms are full of barrels.
The best room is full of barrels. And I was hoping he was going to come on. It is 23 years old. It is 52.3%. Now, he was showing me pictures. Now, his name is the Whisky Drinker in Christchurch, New Zealand.
Good.
And their bottles now are short, stubby bottles, kind of like the same shape as Braflati, right? but that is a whiskey. I tried a younger one in that, and I found it quite good. I would like to see more of them coming over here. So,
yeah,
it's very nice unopened.
Have any of you tried the Jameson Bow Street?
What was
Jameson,
that?
It's I'll show you the bottle.
Yeah, show me the bottle.
Jameson something Street.
What is that shit doing in the background?
So I'm gonna look at while he's gone.
While he's looking, I'm just going to jump in because I found something cool about this Cornog distillery.
Yeah.
As whiskey nerds, we know that most distilleries don't use flame-fired stills anymore.
Right.
But just looking at the bottle here, there's a little label. It says, what's it say? It says made with a live flame and passion. So they actually still use cold, like actual flame-fired stills to make their whiskey.
Wow.
Which is not happening hardly anywhere anymore. So, and they use worm tubs with flame still. So that's kind of neat.
That is neat.
Travis, that one's peated as well, is it not?
Yeah, I think most of their stuff is peated, but it's very subtle in this one. But yeah.
Oh,
Bow Street. Nice.
Oh, wow.
I have not. The only Jamesons I have, and it is open, and it is they're one of their castmates done in stout barrel.
Yeah.
That looks like very nice.
This one has like a nice
box on the inside too. Good.
So it's a box on the inside, and it has this like a paper bag or like a cloth bag over it, and then it has this copper front.
Oh, that is a cool,
really nice metal.
Very grand copper fronts, I tell you.
Yeah, and then a lot of shenanigans. There's even like a coin, like a whiskey coin, underneath here.
Oh yeah.
So when you take the bottle out,
it's like a little puzzle to get into it.
Yeah, exactly. Takes an hour to assemble.
What's the coin worth?
Let's see the coin. That's
I
fairly.
bought 2 of these bottles.
That's a cute coin, actually.
It's almost like a challenge coin.
It's not as cute as the Whiskey Friends challenge coin, no.
Oh, no, I don't think so. I don't think so, man. Funny you mention that. I might have a few handy here.
I've only got ones from the London Whiskey Club. I can't afford yours.
All right.
These are challenge.
No, that's the proper one.
Oh, let's see it.
That is. Anybody wants that, we know where to get her. Go to thewhiskeyfriend.com.
The pleasure is in the sharing.
Yes,
that's nice and thick too. Good.
It was very cool. Because if you're ever at a bar in London and you didn't have one of those, and he shows up, you got to buy all the drinks, eh? That's what you need, really, is a coin.
Yeah, I'll make my own coins.
Yeah.
Out of rock.
Out of rock.
Like a real Viking, 6'8" Viking.
Granite coins.
I'd buy that.
I can send you a video of a guy that actually made a very, very sharp knife using seawater and certain chemicals.
Okay.
He reduced, like he takes the salt out and he mixes it with some other stuff. He's a Japanese guy. He makes some weird crap all in the kitchen. I'll have to find what it's called now, but it's interesting. That would be cool for you to make something like that. Rooney.
That looks dangerous. That piece of metal.
This looks like something from a guillotine.
It does. Yeah. Don't they still have guillotines in the Faroe Islands?
No,
only for the tourists.
We use swords. Yeah.
The swords.
Blunt swords.
Rooney, I use those boxes with the covers, and I give them after I'm done with whiskey for my kids' marble collections. They're perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Their marble holders all have whiskey names on them.
That's because their dad's always losing his marbles.
Got to contain them.
Yeah.
Well, this is actually a really cool International Whiskey Day. We've got Scotland and England represented in one. We have four Canadians now, and one guy from the Faroe Islands. What's your nationality? I guess is how we Faroese or
Faroese, yes, Faroese. So Scottish people actually call us Faroe Islanders. So so they always say that we are the real islanders.
How close from coast to coast?
It is only, I think it's around 100 nautical miles, coast to coast, and of course that's Shetland Islands that we are closest to, and the second closest is Iceland.
So if we went, drove up north, hit all the distilleries up north, how long would it take us to take a ferry, if there's a ferry, to the Faroe Islands?
Around 11 hours.
Do they actually have a ferry to the? No.
They used to.
Got a bigger boat than a ferry to go that far, man.
That's okay. We can rent and drink scotch on the way.
Used to have, exactly, a lot of scotch drinking on the way. We had the ferry that went between Iceland and now between Shetland Islands and Faroe Islands, but it was non-profitable, so they stopped that. So now it's only sailing from Denmark to Faroes to Iceland and then back. So, but it used to make a stop in Lerwick in Shetland Islands. They do like Christmas shopping trips to Aberdeen in Scotland, like twice or three times a year around Christmas time, of course, and that takes around 18 hours to sail from Tórshavn, which is the capital of the Faroe Islands, to Aberdeen in Scotland.
Wow!
How many people live there?
So that is in 50,000 people, 52,000, give or take.
And when is the tourist season?
Not now.
Yeah, but when is it?
It is all year round now, because there are a lot of like climate tourists who wants to experience some extreme weathers. So we have a lot of that. We have a lot of storms, a lot of waves, a lot of wave photographers that come to the Faroe Islands to study and to photograph, to take pictures of waves. So we get it year round when we are not hit by rudimentary viruses from the Middle East, or no, from the Far East. So
I didn't think think Vikings got viruses.
They fight them all.
No, we don't. We have them for breakfast.
Yeah. Do you like that with milk?
It's virus season. Put it on the bread.
You put a little whiskey on it and eat it.
A bit of whiskey on it, and some sheep fat, and then top it off with virus.
Yeah, there you go. Andy Spurl, thanks for coming in. I did an internship in the oil industry in Aberdeen. Nice city. Everything is granite.
There's a lot of oil off that coast there. Alan, you might know. There's quite a bit of oil up there, right?
There's not a lot left now.
Oh, really?
No, there's not
So I'm getting.
They want to go around the other side. They reckon there's more on the other side, but they can't, because that's where all the submarines, all the naval bases and all that are up the other side, so they can't go in that end. But no, there's no more. I don't think there's much left.
Our oil in Alberta is getting $2 a barrel right now, so it's probably not a good time anyways.
All right, I'm always getting a lot of trouble, gentlemen. I am going to.
You're going to open a bottle.
Going to open a bottle.
Yeah.
Oh
my God!
Oh, get it flagged.
Whiskey Neighbor, don't sell yourself short. You have a few reviews that others don't. Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
You're doing it.
Dustin's just fell off his seat.
Who did?
Dustin's just fell off his seat.
Listen, I'll open this if you send me a bottle of 16.
It must be-
$12 Jameson.
Okay, I'm gonna make it so that you guys can see it. I'm even gonna open up a special glass to drink it from.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
It must be a pandemic if Dan's opening a bottle.
Not just any Glen Karen will do.
What's he got there?
Oh, that's pretty.
Crystal glass.
Very pretty.
Crystal glass. All you people in the comments better let everybody know that I actually opened up something that I've had for many, many years. And you cannot get it anymore, so I'm sure it's worth millions of dollars.
Million.
That is this New Zealand whiskey.
Oh,
It is cask strength. It is barrel number 72 from 9911. That's an interesting date, isn't it?
yep. Yep. Daniel, this is the perfect day to open up that bottle. International Whiskey Day, International Whiskey. Probably the furthest point away from Edmonton right now.
It is. Too bad the friend from Christchurch didn't jump in. You guys can find him. He's called the Whisky Drinker. Tell him on his Instagram, say, yeah, I can't believe you missed Whiskey Throttle opening a bottle. Are we ready? And I probably have to share a dram with several of you anyway.
That'd be good.
We got to open this again.
Gotta hear it.
It's probably the nicest cork ever.
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
Ooh, nice.
Look at that cork, man. That's
Doing
a
a delay on
solid
it.
cork.
We need smell-o-vision.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smell-o-vision.
I would
Taste
love
of vision.
that right now.
That's like SCTV or something. Is he going to
Yeah, I
pan the
think so.
camera?
I'm going to pour some. We'll let it breathe.
A 4D whiskey tasting.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this here, what it says before I pour it out all over. It says this whiskey was distilled in the South Island of New Zealand at the famous Willowbank Distillery of Dunedin. Its makers used the very finest New Zealand grown barley's snow malt from the Southern Alps, naturally filtered through the Great Moss Swamp in the upper catchment of the Tairi River, purified with the purest of water.
Wow.
Aye, it sounds a lot better than that crap from Scotland.
Yeah. Daniel, just before you drink it,
Yes, sir.
what's your expectation?
Well, I have a little nose off of what ran down the side,
Yeah.
and I'm expecting it to be quite nice. Now, it is cask strength. It's 52.3, but it's a lighter colored whiskey. I have no real notes on what this was aged in. I have no other expectations than that, my friend. This was a present from a friend of mine that was over there on a high-risk vacation, jumping off things.
Where'd you snag that bottle, Dan?
A friend brought it back from New Zealand.
Oh, okay. Sorry if I missed that.
Does any distillery say their distillery is plain Jane and lightly known? No, they don't. That is true. But this was from a distillery that was closed. And what I had gotten from my friend is that they actually had somebody bought the distillery and went in and walked around and they found a room full of barrels that were full of whiskey. So.
And how is it? Have you said yet? Sorry, I was dealing with kids.
Not harsh on the nose. It is sweeter smelling. I get kind of cinnamon, a little spice. I think sometimes the rye and cinnamon for me are almost similar, but that's just myself. But being that New Zealand is, it's actually tomorrow in New Zealand, eh?
Have you ever met someone that went to New Zealand and didn't absolutely love it?
Mm-mm.
Never.
I was in Australia for a year, lived there, never made it over to New Zealand because I couldn't afford it, but it's one of my regrets. Wish I would have went. Still lots of time.
You still got the time, buddy. Wait till them boys are growing up and they can pay for a trip for you to go.
Yeah, that'll come.
She's got at the end is when I get the warmth from the higher ABV.
Do you love when you have an high ABV whiskey that you drink? It's like, let's say 58, whatever, and you're drinking it, and you're expecting that harshness, and it never comes.
Yeah,
and that's one of the great things of being a whiskey. And you're like, I know I'm going to need some water, but I'm going to try it, and then you don't need it, and you're just happy that it's just a good ABV, high ABV whiskey.
No, I just
we've all destroyed our taste buds with all of the cast strength that we've had before.
Yeah,
it's going to be really hard.
And I've had this bottle for I'd say 6 years.
Oh, it was time to open it, Daniel.
Well, we opened it on International Whiskey Day.
Perfect time.
Cheers to that. Glad you opened it for us.
Yeah, well, some of you guys I can usually share with. Rooney, I already said I've got to send him some Canadian whiskey, and I probably said that to the whiskey friend too, but he's holding something over my head, so he keeps buying bottles of the original Longmorn 16 and drinking them in front of me on YouTube.
Can't get enough of it.
That's a little bit mean.
Yeah, I bought some of those also, the Longmorn 16 original.
And how many do you have left?
I actually have all of them left because none of them are here in the Faroe Islands. All of them are in my whiskey stash in Denmark. So I have.
I didn't know we
have
other countries. I got to do that to the States, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. What kind of whiskey? Is it a house? Is it a storage unit? I'm wondering where your whiskey stash is.
Yeah, no, it's actually it's an entire room because I have like my office is in Denmark and we have like a big warehouse, and then we have like two like safe rooms inside the warehouse. One of them is used for all like all the personal data files, all this GDPR, what is called this new European data law.
Protection.
Yeah, they have person.
Rudy, I wouldn't tell Dolph anymore. He's just trying to find out where he can steal it from. That's all.
No, I was kind of hoping it was a little bit more sordid of a story, something like it's his mistress's place.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit bored with COVID-19. I need some entertainment.
I don't think that, I've seen pictures of his girlfriend on the island there. I don't think he's interested in any mistress.
Oh.
Of course not.
Plus, she's standing over there on some side watching him right now.
Monitoring all my online
activities.
Ben Demon Hunter just pointed out that Portuskeg 100 proof and Ugadal, like high ABV, no burn whiskeys. Ugadal is a great example of that.
Yeah, I have that Portuskeg 100 proof as well. It's also a great one. Ugadal is also great.
Portuskeg's bottling some really cool stuff. Reasonable price points.
Yeah, it is.
I like what you just said there.
It is Kalila. Portuskeg is Kalila. Isn't it a sub-brand of Kalila?
Yeah, they're an independent bottler, but they're literally right next door to the distillery, Kalila.
Yeah.
I don't think all their stuff is Kalila, though, is it?
No. They have lots of different stuff. They're buying it from trading here and there. So.
John, what were you saying there?
Whiskey Neighbor, what were you saying?
Oh, nothing original. Just going to agree both with those. Although I haven't had the Portuskeg 100 proof. Is that what it is? I haven't had that one yet. So sorry. I was going to say Ugadale, though, is always in the shelf. I really like it.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah.
People rave about the old Ugadal releases from way back. I haven't had any of the really old ones, but I've heard they're incredible.
Oh, I wish I could say, sure, and pull up a bottle, but I bet Dan has one in the back. Maybe you should open one of those, Dan.
I don't have a 19-year-old. Rooney always shows me up, nice. So I'm being calm today. Look at that. Bushman, what's he chugging? What are you chugging there, Alan?
National
We're losing you. Oh, it's not even English beer. I got to kick you off the channel.
It cleanses the
I'm
palate.
doing it for the Italians, man.
Oh, okay. Tell us about that 19-year-old, because I don't think I bought it. I think I like the 15-year-old better. Rooney?
It is really good, and it's like a sort of cask strength because it's 50.4% ABV.
Yeah, got that.
50.4, and it's quite nice. It's not very peaty, I must say, but it has like all the traits of Kalila, in my opinion. So
It definitely would. It does. Some of them I actually like better than just regular Kalila, the Port Ascates. But smoother, they have something different and more clean about them, right?
Dan, I have to jump in. My kids are having a couch wrestling match, and they're demanding spaghetti and meatballs. So
why don't you just give us one more spiel about what you're up to, and then we'll say goodbye to you, and we'll stay on for maybe another 5 or 10 minutes. So tell us about Drams for Fams.
Well, Drams for Fams is our local charity event for the food bank. Last year we raised 20 grand. Our goal this year was $25,000, but obviously everything's canceled. We had 4 or 5 events over 4 days. Anyways, in the meantime, I am putting together a whiskey basket raffle. It's going to be private, but I will send links out to people that are interested. And we have over $4,000 worth of whiskey in 5 baskets. So, nice. And every single penny will go to the food bank. That's all we got going right now. Everything else is. And Dan, thanks for inviting me to this. This has been a nice little treat today with dealing with these animals all day while my wife works at the hospital.
Well,
so
your poor wife in the front lines dealing with COVID and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's been a handful. She's working a ton, and we got no daycare, so I'm learning how to be a parent. It's fun.
Yeah, well, that'll teach you, those young fellas. Yep.
Yeah. But it was really, I just want to say, Alan and John, Rooney, Dolph, thank you very much for having me. I don't do this a lot, but I enjoyed this.
Talk to you later, brother.
Yeah, thank you very much, Travis. You enjoy yourself, and we will do something more. Maybe we'll try to do something with someone's channel as a fundraiser thing instead of being in a group.
For sure, and I am expecting a dram of that New Zealand ASAP.
Oh yes, I think I have. I have a whole bunch of bottles I need to empty from samples you've given me.
Yeah, you got to get on that. They're meant to be drank, those samples. Get on them.
All right, buddy. Thank you very much.
Take care, guys.
See you, Travis. Take care.
Cheers. Be safe.
Later, Trav.
Cheers. You too.
Right on. So, Rooney, we hope that you're doing well. You probably need to get back to your kids and stuff like that. We've been on for an hour and a half. Anything we can expect to see from you on, besides your giant, huge bicep? We see Rooney showing lots. He is like the Rock of the Faroe Islands. He's always showing Instagram pictures of him at the gym. He's very motivating.
Okay.
So
yeah, I cannot get to the gym at the moment because of COVID-19, but I just bought like a bench press and some of those machines, some dumbbells and some barbells. And
can't you just go outside and pick up rocks?
Yeah, I can do that, but it's really hard to do a lot of reps with the odd rock.
I highly recommend anybody that hasn't seen anything of the Faroe Islands to just go on YouTube, type in Faroe Islands. There are some phenomenal videos done by drones and stuff like that. You'll swear that it's where they should have shot the
Hobbit.
The Hobbit. Honest to God, it's probably just as beautiful as New Zealand.
It is really beautiful, and it's really easy to get because the islands are so small, so it's really easy to get around, and the infrastructure wise, it's very well connected. It has a lot of subsea tunnels, bridges, and a lot of that. So somebody is asking about my Instagram.
Yeah.
Can you write my Instagram handle, Cruiser? On I don't think I can.
I can do it in the chat.
I can only do the private chat here. If I go to live comments, it's not me.
You can't hit the. Do you not have a wheel that you can hit that lets you change your name? But I'll just type it into the chat and pronounce it for everybody.
Cruiser, just like the cruiser, just Cruise Aaron instead. So
Cruise Aaron, cool.
Cruise Aaron.
Well, I've got to go too, Throttle. It was really great actually to get on here and see all the different bottles you guys are enjoying, and to feel like I've kind of traveled the world a little bit here on International Whiskey Day. So, Daniel, really, thanks so much for inviting me. It's been a great time, and thanks to all of you guys for chiming in. We haven't met in person except for a couple here, and one day I hope that would be awesome to fix. We could meet at an International Whiskey Festival somewhere in Scotland or maybe in Victoria. Boy, that would be fantastic.
Looking forward to it.
That would be great, buddy. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for letting you come in.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks so much, guys. Cheers.
Stay healthy.
Cheers. Cheers.
Right on.
And there was 4.
What's that, sir? And then there was 4.
Then there was 4.
You betcha. So you're drinking beer. Why are you drinking beer?
I'm just having a bottle of beer, man. Why not?
Just thirsty, right?
Yeah. It's getting late now.
Oh, that's good. Cleanses the palate. You try more. It's good.
Yeah.
It's only 6:00 p.m. over here.
Yeah, it's midnight over here.
What time is it?
Yeah.
Same for you, right, Rosarian?
Yeah. It is 5 minutes to midnight here.
Yeah, same as here, same time as here.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. GMT.
He could throw a rock at you, okay?
Yeah, I can catch it.
You could with your.
I can catch it.
You can catch it.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about going up there? You must be able to just hop on a plane and fly to the Faroe Islands from Scotland.
I've never thought about it though.
Well, now you have a reason.
The Faroe Islands is we always seem to draw them in World Cups and stuff like that. They've played each other a few times in the World Cup.
Did you?
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they played
a few guys doing? They're coming down the field with a sword while they're kicking the ball.
Oh, they must love it when the Scots come over for the football, man.
Sure.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic to have the Tartan Army in the Faroe Islands.
Yeah. They have a good time, man.
Really good time. Some of the bars here, they have like as much turnover on those days around when the match is as they have the rest of the year. So 50% of their turnover is the years when Scotland is playing in the Faroe Islands. It's on those 3 days the Scottish people are roaming the streets of Tórshavn. So it's they drink a lot of beer.
I'll tell you a little story, Daniel. My football team was called Rangers, right? And they got to one of the European finals.
Yeah.
Manchester. And you want to have seen it. There was 250,000 of them came to Manchester. And demolished Manchester. They spent about £10 million in Manchester that day.
That's crazy.
Mad. Yeah. Manchester's never seen anything like it. Manchester United's won European Cups and everything and never had anything like that.
Wow.
No, the Scots like to travel, man.
Sure they do.
Yeah, they like traveling.
Yeah,
the Faroe Islands probably doesn't look a lot different than parts of Scotland for them. It's just grass and rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Way prettier.
Looks a lot like Isle of Skye, actually.
Just as well, there's not a lot of sheep there either.
A lot of sheep as well, yes.
That's why the Scots like it. A lot of sheep.
Well, right behind him.
Take a look at the picture behind his head.
I know.
Did you paint that?
No. Actually, my girlfriend got that at the hair salon that she was doing her hair, getting her hair cut.
Yeah,
and that was hanging somewhere on the wall on there, and she bought it. So it was the most expensive haircut ever.
Wow. Well, that's good though.
I've never thought of doing that. Getting my hair cut, seeing something on the wall, and saying, "I
I'll
want
buy
that."
that.
I will have
I
that.
want that. That's funny.
I actually went to a hairdresser once or barber in Denmark, which was a bar, and that was really great. So I was getting my hair cut and having a beer while, and that was really, really good.
Wow.
There you go.
It was a really good idea.
There? We have a few barbers.
No, it's not very common, but this was in like this Bohème district in Copenhagen, so it was really, really special. Everything was special. All the bars around there were special. So of course they had a barbershop that was doubled as a bar. Of course.
That's hilarious.
No, we have quite a few of them in the UK now. Quite a few of those, but they're the barbers. They do big all that because beards and all that got trendy, didn't they?
What's that? They train you to do what?
No, we have a lot of those in the UK now because everybody's wearing these big, massive beards, aren't they? So they're going to get them.
Oh yes.
It's all becoming very. So they give you a beer and a whiskey and all that while you're waiting. And
I actually had the beginning just where I was about to start to enjoy a beard, and yesterday I forgot. A buddy of mine, he said, "Hey, I'm getting married this week. Can you come and give me your signature?" Right. Basically the witness / best man, right?
So you have to shave it all off.
Well, I didn't. I shouldn't have really, but I thought it would look more. I guess it's more. It was just at that point where it just looked scraggly, right? Had it been like another week, I could comb it and it would look decent and so forth.
Is that like mine?
No, more like Rooney's. A nice try.
This is how I look when I'm cleanly shaved. This is I cannot get more shaved than this.
No, that's probably your 5 o'clock shadow.
5 o'clock shadow, yeah, full beard.
I shaved 3 hours ago.
Yeah, that's what my buddy's like. I swear to God, man, the guy just and he's got a beard.
I shaved 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't want to see where you shaved. You pulled that out from your lap. That was kind of weird. Anyway, guys, I had a good time. I hope you guys did too.
Me too.
Me as well.
And I hope everybody in the chat. We had a varying number. I think 10 might have been the highest. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So look up the Whiskey Friend. He has a YouTube channel. Does very well. Anybody that hasn't seen it, you should, and you can look up his coin. Right? Now we have Dolph, who is just getting into this kind of meetings and so forth on Instagram and on YouTube. You are the Spirit of Edmonton.
I am. So we're doing this tomorrow. It's the Edmonton Scotch Society, Whiskey Book Club, and Davin, the author, is going to be with us tomorrow and for the next couple of weeks. So tomorrow, 7:30 on my channel. So Dolph, the Spirit of A, or YEG, Y-E-G, or Edmonton, you find us.
The Spirit of Edmonton. Y-E-G, obviously that's the airport name or signature.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you, sir.
And Rooney, you guys all can find him as Cruisarian, correct? On Instagram. Cruisarian. I hate trying to pronounce that. I don't know why I have a hard time with it.
It's not easy.
Where's the name from? What does it mean?
It was just I can see you posted it here on the chat now.
Yeah.
It was just something I called myself while I was doing some freelance writing for radio.
Oh yes.
And that was my handle pre anything, pre social media, pre internet almost.
Yep.
So it just stuck with me and I never changed it. So I always use it like if I, for example, I also have the same as username on Whiskey Base and on YouTube. and I use it everywhere, even my Instagram. Instagram, of course, but also my Facebook is also facebook.com/cruiser, and then you can find me. So.
And one of the cool things that you do is you actually have a club on the island and you do tastings. Do you do tastings in Denmark as well, or is it
Yes,
Denmark?
I do tastings in Denmark, and I have also done tasting in Greenland and in Iceland. So
you have
at Faroe Islands, of course.
Wow.
kind of a little side business, more or less.
Yes, it is. Actually, whiskey is quite a nice side business for me. And what else? Yeah, I was going to mention that I do a bit of whiskey tastings on YouTube, whiskey reviews.
Yeah.
And I was a friend of mine told me that I should do whiskey reviews like from mountaintops.
Yeah.
So like have a really nice camera and a microphone with one of those dead cats on top of them, so it catches all the wind.
Yes.
And then do like where you have a really scenic view behind me, overlooking a fjord or some mountaintops and so on in the Faroe Islands.
Rooney, I'm going to send you a link to a guy who he's a reporter, journalist from Denmark, but I can't remember his name right now. He's kind of an interesting character, and he does whiskey reviews. He'll do it when he's out camping in the woods and stuff like that. You might find it interesting to see that. I'll find him and I'll send you the link. And then
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I think you would. And then I guess there's me. Well, y'all know who I am, and I did get to open up a bottle of whiskey that I've had for a while from the New Zealand. I was really hoping the guy from New Zealand would come in here because he had a small but interesting collection of the new stuff. Okay. But for some reason he didn't show up. Hopefully he will one day. I think he's fairly new, and maybe he couldn't break away from doing things. I don't know. But yeah, I appreciate everybody being here. I really liked how this worked out, and
I've just subscribed to the Spirit of Edmonton. Looks like I'm your first subscriber on YouTube.
No, you're not. I subscribed. You can't.
It says one here.
Really? Well, I only have one viewer.
One subscriber.
Only one.
Well, I just put it up recently, but I think I had 5 this morning, so maybe I'm not sure.
All right.
I got the family to sign up.
I've just subscribed anyway.
Thank you very much.
It does only one subscriber, but you know what? YouTube can be behind a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to teach you how to make thumbnails.
It takes time, man. It takes time.
It does, yep. Oh, trust me. I mean, you've only been doing it for so long there, Whiskey Friend, and you're doing quite well, actually. So, and Rooney, you're gonna. What's your YouTube channel under?
It's also Cruiser.
Okay, I'm a subscriber to that already.
Yeah. So and everything social media for me is Cruiser, YouTube.
It's got
even LinkedIn.
Beaming little smile on it. I am a subscriber already. Some beautiful stuff from around the island. So awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Ben.
I subscribe now to the Spirit of Edmonton also. So.
Oh, Rooney, thank you very much, kind sir.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much.
More viewers. Woo!
Yep. Thank you very much, everybody. We're gonna stay online and have a little chat after, but I appreciate all the viewers and enjoy International Whiskey Day. Cheers.
Lunch. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Yes.